Welcome to the demo of Cosmocloud Deploy. Today, we will see how we can deploy our applications in just a couple of minutes on the choice of your cloud and at your business scale. All you need is to bring in a Docker image, and you can go live in just a few seconds. But first, let's start by creating our organization. Our organization will help us manage all our resources, applications, user management, and billing under one single namespace. Let's give our organization a name, such as test.org. You can also choose the cloud and region you want your applications to be deployed. Currently, you can choose between AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Once created, let's head inside our organization and have a look around. Once you create your organization, you can see that Cosmocloud Deploy comes with two environments by default. As these are just namespaces for management, you can ask Cosmocloud team to provide more environments for you, such as pre-prod, QA, or dev environments. Right, so let's come back to app services. An app service is your one single microservice or one single application you would want to deploy. All you need to do is to bring your Docker image and configure your app service. Everything else will be taken care of by Cosmocloud Deploy platform. Let's create our first app service. We can name our first application as test, but feel free to name it whatever you want to. Next, let's define how our app service looks like by defining the application container. You would need to pass in your Docker image configuration. We are taking Nginx and its latest tag right now for the demo, but you can connect to your own Docker image, both public and private. To connect to your private Docker registry, you can choose between AWS ECR and Docker Hub, with support for other Docker registries coming up soon. Next, you need to define how many resources you would need per instance of your application. This defines the vertical scaling component of your app service. We can select 0.1 CPU and 512 megabytes of RAM for this demo purpose. Next, define the port at which your application is running, 80 for our Nginx service. You can also optionally give a custom command and arguments to your Docker image. Once our container configuration is complete, choose how you want to expose your application, publicly over the internet or private and available to only other app services within your Cosmocloud Deploy organization. You can also define any environment variables, such as host names and base URLs and other configurations that your app would need to run properly. Last, you can simply define the scale of instances you would need for each environment. This is the horizontal scaling component, and Cosmocloud Deploy automatically handles load balancing, network routing, uptime guarantees, and everything else for you. Once your app service is created, you can now open it up to see all the details. Going over the Releases tab, you can see that our initial release, the latest tag, is in the deploying state. Once your release is deployed, you can check its status on the deployment card as well as the Releases tab. Next, let's see if our application is live. You can click on the assigned URL for your application to open it up. You can now see that our sample Nginx service is live, up and running. Later, you can also connect your own custom DNS here. A very important part of application is centralized logging and monitoring for your apps. On Cosmocloud Deploy, you can simply go to the Logs tab of your app service and check the logs on any environment, as well as filter the logs. To deploy a new version of your application, you can simply go to Deploy a New Version button or use Cosmocloud CLI to deploy it as well. You can pick the environment you wish to deploy the new release to, and then later promote this release to other environments. Well, that's it. That's how easy it is to deploy your applications on Cosmocloud Deploy without the need to manage any of the cloud components for you. Everything from load balancers to cluster management, networking, and security is managed by Cosmocloud Deploy, your own new Auto-Devops tool.